Welcome to another episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Alnell, my man G Witt.
Tighten up, baby. Tighten up.
Week 9 recap.
Not much of a recap, man.
Not much of a recap.
Well, let's put it like this. We said at the beginning of the season, in the first few games, they were wasting a good defense. You know, in the NFL, there always comes one game. At least one.
At least one.
We saw the makings of it the last game. It came to fruition in this one. Defense finally had their day, or didn't have their day. And the offense didn't help. Special teams didn't help. So it was overall just a bad day. It was just a bad day. And the thing about it now, right now, the only thing you're playing for is respect. You know, you're not trying to go from good to great. You're just trying to be respected.
The season's over already.
Hey man, you're just trying to be respectful. Well, here's the thing.
Got a lot of division games.
Well, here's the thing about it. Here's what you got to remember. And this is the thing that's really just sad about it too. First of all, it's not a question of talent. So it comes down to coaching. And the coaching is not getting the job done. Now, granted, you were down Ben Jones, you were down Jarrell Casey, but if you can't get your players ready to play and pick up the slack, what is that? Whose fault is that?
It always goes back to the head coach.
It goes back to coaching.
And his coaching staff.
Yeah. It goes back to coaching, baby. That's right, Jabbar. This goes back to coaching. Right now, they came out right. Let's get into it, man. We'll be here. We'll just keep going.
Well, but hold on. Let me say.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
For the way the game started, and for them to come out so lethargic on offense, it just didn't make any sense.
No, they haven't come out. I mean, you think about it. They haven't been aggressive. They weren't aggressive. Here's the thing. If you notice the game against the Chargers, they came out aggressive. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, it's like we don't want to come out aggressive. We don't want to, and I don't know what it is. That's what I'm saying. It's all going back to coaching. You can't get around that part of it.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Stuttering, man.
It does, man. It's like, this is a professional football team. This is a franchise that settles for being middle of the pack to the bottom of the pack. Year in, year out. It doesn't make sense about the talent level. It doesn't make sense about, the draft and how we get good draft picks. We bring in some quality free agents. I'm not going to say they're the best, but some quality free agents. And still could not get over the hump. What was even more telling to me in this game is that Corey Davis had one target for the first half.
Yeah.
He didn't get his second target until like the late third quarter.
Fourth quarter, and everything.
So how do you know?
And you're right, Jabbar. That's the most telling stat they told today. The Titans have 4 games where they've scored 0 points in the first half. You just can't win. That's not winning football. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna play right now, you're talking about trying to be respectful, trying to be a team where people respect. Because right now they don't respect. They definitely don't respect Deion Lewis when he comes in the game. I mean, it's just the only player they on the team they really respect, in all honesty, is Derrick Henry, because they know they gotta be ready for him, because he's subject to break one at any time. So anyway, here's the bottom line, man. Bottom line, like I said, you're playing for respect. Coaching right now, John Robinson's got to look at his coaching hires, and he's got to look at it and because right now, like I said earlier this season, Vrabel's going to cost us a good GM because of the way he's coaching.
I would think
he's going
the coach would go before the GM. Though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to cost us a good GM because the GM brought in. The GM is the one who brought him in.
Yeah.
So he's going to cost us a good GM who's good at recognizing talent. It's amazing. For years, we had decent coaching, but we had subpar talent. Now we got some pretty decent talent, but we got subpar coaching.
I would think Amy.
I mean, we just can't. It's like the game today. We can't get out of our own way.
I would think Amy would recognize, though, Vrabel as being the issue and not J-Rob. And you know, give him at least another year.
Well, you're gonna have to. He's gonna get another year regardless. I'm just saying like this. He went 9-7 last year with a ton of injuries. This year, you know, like I said, from now on, quit going into off season with these slogans. Just go in the off season and say we're gonna play football. Because the bottom line is, this good to great mess that you came up with, it's a bunch of hot air. It didn't even fly. So the bottom line is, he's gonna get one more year. And he's got a year. He's gonna have a year to turn around. Really, he's got a year and a half because he got the rest of this season and all of next season to turn around. But if come November of next year and he's half-stepping, it's gonna be time for him to go. I'm just saying. I mean, that's the way the NFL is. Like they say, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. And if you ain't winning, it's time for you to go. I mean, you took a coach who had the team moving in the right direction. You let him go, and now you brought in this guy who never had a head coaching experience, wasn't a good DC when he was in Houston, and now you put him as head coach. He did okay last year, but obviously everybody was down on Matt LaFleur with his office and everything, but obviously he was the one keeping the ship together because Vrabel ain't doing it.
Yeah, he needs to go, and I put it out there early. I'm gonna lead the charge and get rid of Vrabel. But so some things that I wanted to see coming in this game, which they didn't happen until late in the second half.
Well, that don't count.
Can the offense move the ball? Which we saw in the first half, they couldn't move the ball.
Well, the second half don't count. The second half don't count because the second half, no, it don't count because only time it counted was when they came out after halftime. That's what I'm talking about. And they drove the ball down the field.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the only time it counted.
But they showed they could do it.
They showed they could do it, but the problem is you couldn't do it consistently.
Well, that's the problem.
You didn't do it in the first half. Mm-hmm. You didn't move the ball. You had 77 yards in the first half total. 77. Your defense, once again, for the second game in a row, was on the field for almost 25 minutes out of a 30-minute half. Now, come on, man. Yeah. I mean, come on. That's not winning football.
I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sorry, man. I got to call it like it is.
Can they contain Christian McCaffrey, which we saw how that turned out.
Well, let's give the defense a little bit of credit. For the most part, they had them pretty well contained.
Yeah, but then on the critical, when they couldn't get out the field, and they were missing tackles, letting them get by. So, yeah, they contained him somewhat until he had the big run in the second half, right?
I'll go back to the one before halftime.
Yeah, okay.
You know, when they ran the rub route, got him open and everything, and all of a sudden, boom, you know, he scores, and that's it. They're on the road. Because once McCaffrey scores, that offense is on the road. You couldn't get to the quarterback. You were struggling to do that. I mean, you know, you're getting pressure and everything, but you're not making a move off the spot. And when you do, you're not covering everybody. They had come out, okay, you go down, you score in the second half on a screen play to Derrick Henry. He takes it in for the score. Mm-hmm. You get them pinned down deep. You got them 3rd and 12, and you let them convert. You let them convert. You didn't get no pressure on the quarterback, and people running free, boom. It's like one other play they had. Christian McCaffrey comes all the way across the formation, and there's a linebacker within 10 yards of him. And he gets a first down. Come on, man.
Oh, and then when we're going to see in the shots down the field, we talked about the pass rush.
We saw a few.
Yeah, but it was at that point it was too late.
Yeah, it was too late, yeah.
So, just to summarize the first half, of course, I think Jabbar just mentioned 2 carries in the first half by Derrick Henry. How does that even happen for a running back of his talent?
Yeah, Corey Davis, 1 target.
Here's all the possession in the first half. They had 6. Missed field goal, 43 yards.
Yep.
A punt after interception, which on that drive, Taylor Lewan has a 15-yard face mask and he has a holding penalty against him. And so it backs them up inside their own 10-yard line. Yep. Which, you know, the penalties were the story all day. They had 11 penalties for the game. Yeah. Which really cost them a lot of plays.
For a team that led the league last year with the least amount of penalties. Now you tell me what's going on.
3rd possession. Fumble by Deion Lewis. Turnover. 4th possession. A.J. Brown, the ball goes through his hand. Interception. Turnover. 5th possession. Punt. Then the last possession in the first half, missed field goal 56 yards by Sucker. So, I mean, the offense was anemic.
And then you think about this. They move the ball. They get the ball moved downfield and they got 1st and 10 from inside the 30.
Yeah.
and you end up kicking a 46 or 56 yard.
56 was the last one you tried.
Yeah, because you end up taking a sack when you didn't need to take a sack.
Right.
And it's just like I said, it's just a comedy of errors. And when you have a game like this and these many errors and everything, it comes down to nothing but coaching. You can say the players didn't execute the game plan all you want to, but the bottom line is the coaches did not have the players mentally prepared for the game. That's just it.
So they come out the second half, and Derrick Henry gets involved. They had 7 straight runs, even if you count 8, if you count the scramble by Tannehill.
Yeah.
And they drove the ball down the field fairly easy and scored. Cut it 17-7, but then turn around and defense gives up a long drive.
That's special teams.
Well, that's
special teams.
It all
comes to the thing. But your defense comes out. Now, Adoree just should have made the interception. I was hoping he would. It was a great play. He misses that interception, but still you stop him on third down. It's 4th and 4, I think it was, or what else?
4th and 2, they run a fake punt.
4th and 2. You think they're gonna put? And the thing about the 4th and 2 that drove me crazy about it, it wasn't so much that they ran the fake punt. It was just the fact that you read the fake punt. You got in there, you had him stop 2 yards, and you let him drive you to the first down. You had him stop. And so when you do that demoralized the defense. The defense came back out, and they were no more good. They couldn't stop them. They couldn't get no pass rush going. All of a sudden, mentally, the game plan for the defense went out the window. And for the rest of the second half, after that fake punt got converted, if you look at that defense couldn't stop a cold. They couldn't stop anybody. And that's what happened. They just started making dumb plays after dumb plays. You had third and 12 inside that 20-yard line, and you let them get a first down. It's a comedy of errors, man. And that goes back to coaching. Go ahead.
You sure? I'll let you go ahead and talk the whole time.
No, I don't want to, man. But you know what it is. Come on.
So after a couple of punts, Tennessee finally puts the best drive of the game together, goes 94 yards over 8 plays.
Yeah.
24-14. Of course, Derrick Henry on the reception of a screen pass.
24-14.
24-14.
That's the series they come back and they got them down third. They got a sack on them. They got, 3rd and 12.
Yep.
Got them. You stop them short.
Zone coverage. Soft. No
pressure. Zone coverage. No pressure. Middle of the field, wide open. He scrambles, gets out of the pocket. There's a man wide open. First down.
I still don't understand why Dean Pease doesn't run any linebacker stunts, any linebacker blitz. Now, he did blitz the linebacker, but guess what? He's dropping other people back, so he's only rushing 4. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's the whole MO. If he blitz a linebacker, they're only rushing 4 people. It don't matter.
The slot corner blitz is going to get picked up eventually, right? Everybody knows it's coming.
Everybody knows it's coming. So that's the thing about it. You're not fooling anybody anymore. No. You got 8 games worth of film on everybody. So everybody knows that they see you. And here's the other thing that drove me crazy. And I'm not knocking him because that just shows you how good he is. Ryan Tannehill is, they hurry up. He gets to the line. He sees the defense. He stands up. He's going to change the play. The moment he changes the play, Luke Kuechly changes the defense to go right into what he was planning on doing. Boom. It was just amazing to watch. It just shows you what a good defender can do. Yeah. And it was a couple of times they had a play one time. They tried to throw a screen pass to a swing pass on that 3rd and short. And
Deion Lewis.
Yeah, Luke Kuechly pours out. Deion Lewis is going to him. He already knows it's going to him. Come on, man. Change the play.
That's film study. That's good about him.
Obviously.
What NFL coach would we want to join the organization? Who's out there? I don't know. You got to look at these assistants. You got to go to college. There's not off the top of my head, there's not a person right now that really sticks out.
Well, there isn't. That's the only problem. The bottom line is there's very few coaches out there, good coaches, I should say, with good head coaching experience. At this point right now, you got to look at everything. And, it comes down, you got to look at your offensive coordinator because obviously that experiment flopped. Defensive coordinator, as much as I like Dean Pease, as much as he had him playing good early, obviously everybody's caught up with him. So now you see why Baltimore let him go. I mean, even though he retired. I mean, come on. I'm right now. You get so frustrated with the way the guys are playing and the way they're being coached that it's just a total organization failure. It's bottom line what it is. I mean, all three phases of the game failed you today.
Yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams. So when you see a total failure by your total team and by everybody on the field, that goes back to your coaching failure. And that's what and right now, again, like we said it earlier, they need to go back and look at the film room because right now, they got to figure out what they're doing wrong. Because it's obvious the team has turned them off because that product you put out there today wasn't worth a flip.
It wasn't.
I mean, and the bad thing about it is we'll go back and look at the stats from the game today, and you would look at it and you would think almost that it was tighter than what it was. And it wasn't. It wasn't close.
No, it wasn't close. Tannehill scores on a 10-yard run to cut it to 10, and then the 2-point conversion play call. So you run Adam Humphries across the formation. He's the only receiver in that area, and you run a flat route to him. And if he's covered, who do you throw the ball to?
That's the problem.
That's not. I mean,
his first read was gone, and
it didn't make.
And then with Adam Humphries, he couldn't set his feet to put any zip on the ball to get it to him.
Nah, it just doesn't make any sense.
No, like I said, it's just one of them things. Well, let's be honest about it. Now, one thing I can say Vrabel is consistent on.
Making bad calls.
Well, consistent on with the last regime. If you notice when Mike Mularkey was here, none of his 2-point conversions worked either.
Yeah.
And so neither has any of Mike Vrabel's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just calling it like it is. That's the way it happens.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. 8 Hour G Whip.
Tighten up, baby. We're still here. We're still here.
Well,
I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So
so total yards, like you said, 431 yards, probably the best offensive yard wise total in a while for the Titans.
But see, that don't mean anything.
It doesn't. You're right, but I'm just saying a lot of it was in garbage time. Right?
They said Tannehill had 310 yards passing, but remember how Blake Bortles used to always have those high passing yards and everything, but he was passing a lot when they were so far behind. They didn't have the choice.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. The stats in this game don't mean anything.
Yeah.
The only stat you got to look at really is the score.
30-20.
Score first quarter 0-0. Second quarter 17-0. Third quarter 7-7. Fourth quarter 13-6. So we won one quarter.
11 penalties for 99 yards.
11 penalties for 99 yards.
3 turnovers.
3 turnovers. 3 for 10 on third downs. You converted 1 fourth down. 21 attempts for 121 yards, and that wasn't with your back. A lot of that, Ryan Tannehill had about 30-some-odd yards rushing easy. So you start looking at that. Your time of possession was 26-43 compared to 33-17. You didn't do anything. Like I said, the stat line is misleading. Ryan Tannehill. Here's a stat that might let you know how the game. He was 27-39. Yeah. He threw the ball 39 times.
Yeah, and Derrick Henry only had 13 carries.
That lets you know how bad the game was.
And it shows you the play calling.
Yeah.
And why did we not run Derrick Henry more?
And the fact that you saw what had happened, they got behind, then they go to the hurry up offense. The only time we've ever seen the hurry up offense, they're behind.
From behind.
They like 30 points. I'm like, dude, change the rhythm. If you want to throw him, you're right, Howard. She may. Her family might say, "Look, we're just tired of this." She got to get permission from her brothers and sisters, but they might say we're tired.
So McCaffrey has 166 yards of total offense, 3 touchdowns. DJ Moore with 101 yards receiving.
Yeah.
And the Panthers go to 5-3.
Yeah.
30-20 victory. The Titans fall to 4-5. If there's any slight glimmer of hope for this football team, it is that there's still a lot of division games left. And again, they would have to run the table.
Well, here's the problem.
Hope to get in.
Here's the problem you got. Well, one thing you had happen today, the Colts lost.
Yeah.
Jacksonville got trucked by Houston.
Yeah.
So you'd have to win. You got to win. You got to win every game.
That's what I said. Yeah.
You got to win every game.
Yeah.
And this team is not going 7-0. This coaching staff is incapable of going 7-0. They're incapable of that. It's just you just see it the way the guys are playing.
Yeah.
This coaching staff. The way Arthur Smith is calling plays and the way Dean Smith is setting up the defense, this coaching staff right now is incapable of running a table like that. They can't do it.
So there's going to have to be some changes in the offseason. I mean, it's got to be.
It's got to be.
Because you got a defensive coordinator that can't change with the times of the game.
I guess not, because, like I said, we've been watching football a long time. And like I always say, Dean Pease knows more about football than I do. But the bottom line is, I cannot understand some of the play calls he makes. I really don't. And I just don't get it. You don't put any pressure on the quarterback. You don't. But see, okay, he wanted to I got to stop right there. He wanted to get Lewis involved. Why? Why is Lewis so important to the team?
He hadn't been productive.
He ain't been productive really. And I was thinking about this on the way. He ain't been productive since that game against the Patriots last year.
Oh, yeah, that was the only one.
That was the only one.
Yeah.
After that game, his stats went through the floor. He has not been productive, and this has been a year.
It's been a year.
He has not been productive, and he wasn't productive today. Let's just be honest about it. So I don't understand this getting Dion Lewis when you hadn't been getting him involved and you were winning.
Right. And then, he's not striking fear into anybody.
Nobody.
When he comes on the field, they pretty much know he's not going to run football.
Nope.
And if he does,
because he can't run,
they can tackle him.
They can tackle him. He strikes no fear in anybody.
And I think they got a little too overconfident because he had one good run, about 15 yards, and they tried to come back to him.
Yeah, and got trouble.
So, it is what it is. The coaching staff is a lot to blame for this team. You can't blame Tannehill. Tannehill had a good game. He stood in the pocket. He made some good throws. He made a couple of bad throws.
He made a couple. That last interception was a bad throw.
Well, you knew it was coming.
Yeah,
because he was throwing in the middle of the field. They were playing too high safety look.
Yeah,
it was coming.
And if the receiver don't make his route right, which he didn't cut across the safety. So when he doesn't do that, you automatically set that up. But,
guys, again, thank you for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G. Witt. Titans fall to the Panthers 30-20 to drop to 4-5 on the year and tie with the Jags for last in the AFC South. Houston again.
We're dead last in the AFC South. Let's be honest about it. We're not tied with anybody.
But anyway, Houston beat the Jags 26-3. Pittsburgh beat the Colts 26-24. The biggest story out of there, of course, Jacoby Brissett left the game with a knee injury, not knowing the details on that. Kansas City did pull off a win against Minnesota last second, 44-yard field goal to improve to 6-3, with the potential of Mahomes coming back next Sunday.
Well, he's coming back against us.
And so
right now we're almost back to that mode like we were with the Pretty. We're a stat game, man.
Stat game. You got Mahomes he's thrown for over 2,000 yards so far in the season. He's missed 3 games, and to be more impressive, he's got 15 touchdowns and 1 interception. So again, efficient there. He's only sacked him 8 times. So I mean, again, the offensive line is protected. That's because he gets the ball out of his hand. Of course, you got the speed demon Tyreek Hill. You got Kelsey. You got Shady McCoy. And you got Sammy Walker. So you got a lot of offense coming in. And you got a defense reeling after giving up 30 points today. And so it's going to be a tough football game coming in here next week to try to slow down the Chiefs offense, especially if Mahomes comes back to play. No comment. I can't believe it. So if
I don't know what you want me to say, man. I've said it all.
Yeah.
No, seriously, in all honesty, let's be real about this. Again, like I said, emotionally, like I told you when we changed the time, you're going to catch me full of emotions, man. I'm sorry. But, the bottom line is, if you take a step back and remove the emotion out of it, the bottom line is when we look at this team, as far as the Titans is concerned, you see a team in a state of flux. Now, the bottom line is Vrabel, he's going to do a coaching job in order to get this team back on track. Because right now, you're not. I mean, when you go and lay an egg like that in a game like that, that's just bad coaching all the way around. Mm-hmm. He can say if we execute, but if you got players making making bonehead penalties, you throw an interception, it comes off of A.J. Brown's hands. Who he's a rookie. He's going to have some bad games. That's coming. It's unusual, but it happens.
Right.
But but even on that, you get the penalty, and the penalty's on you.
Face mask, of course.
Face mask.
And pass interference.
And offensive pass interference.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is, man, it's just one of these things where the only thing they got to do really, they got to pull a Chris Berman, man. They got to circle the wagons.
Circle the wagons.
They got to circle the wagons because like Ryan is saying, you know, Deion Lewis had 2 carries for 22 yards and then he fumbled.
Then he fumbled. I
mean, you know, and that's just typical of, that's the way Deion Lewis, it's one of those years for Deion Lewis where, you know, to quote Dennis Green, he is what we thought he was.
He is definitely showing us who he is by being so inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and granted, I mean, a lot of it was early in the season, but like I said, this goes back to last season, really. His game went down after that Patriots game. He had a good game against the Patriots, and then from then on, his game has just totally disappeared. Malcolm Butler, I know the injury, he's probably going to be out for a few games, but the main reason why he ended up getting hurt on that play and everything, he went back to form and turned the wrong way on the double move. He went back to form. He did a complete 360 on the turn. By the time he got over there, the ball was already in there. The best thing you could have hoped for was to push the man out of bounds and hope he don't come down in bounds. But instead, he tried to tackle him. The guy lands on top of him, and he might have a broken wrist. I don't know, because it doesn't look good at all.
He might. And so, you know, I mean, I don't know what to say. And, you know, Arthur Smith, you got to start doing. So, why? My question is, why isn't Vrabel being more excited on the sidelines and getting in Arthur Smith's face? Like, hey, man, you got the play calling this. I mean, you know, it's just.
And I don't disagree. And, you know, like I said, Vrabel's got to look at it because, you know, he said something last week that's absolutely true. Football starts really in November in the NFL because you got that game stretch. You know what I mean? It's November. And you still running the same crap that you were running earlier in the season. I mean, your play calling is inconsistent. And obviously, from the way you look at it, your team is not really buying into what you're doing. Again, like I said in the preseason, we've seen this before.
Yep.
I've seen this before. And this is like the second coming of the Wiz. And he got fired.
I saw some people mention that since he got fired the other day, we bring him back as OC. No way. No. Anybody's out there thinking that? No way.
Because the reason why he was successful in Los Angeles with Phillip Rivers is a veteran. He doesn't develop quarterbacks, y'all. You got to understand that part of it. He doesn't do that. So the bottom line is, no, you don't bring him back. You know, go ahead, man.
So I think I'm good. So gotta circle the wagons. Got the Chiefs coming in, and you know, right now you gotta run the table.
And that ain't gonna happen.
If it's even possible to run the table.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Jabbar. I thought it was broken.
Yeah.
On Butler's wrist, so he's out for the season probably.
Out for the season. You got Adoree Jackson. His confidence is shot.
No, he actually played okay.
He played okay.
They missed way too many tackles though.
Missed too many tackles. Missed time their jumps on balls they should have probably had picks on. And so I don't know. It's like they're in position. They're not making plays in some cases. In some cases they're out of position. Like on that run that McCaffrey had 58 yards. I mean, they just kicked out Austin Johnson and got on Evans, and it was over. I mean, you know, Jeffrey Simmons went in the game at the time. I don't even know if he'd have made a difference. He could have, but
he could have, man. But right now, you're talking about a guy who's coming off an ACL, who's trying to get his legs back under him. Yeah. So you know, and that's the thing about it. That's what I'm saying. You know, right now you playing for respectability. Players have got to play for respectability. You know, coaches, they need to be coaching for respectability because right now you ain't getting any. So the bottom line is you got to spend the rest half of this season, forget playoffs. You got to take it 1 week at a time. You got to play the games. Win or lose, you got to let these teams know they're in a fight. Bottom line, you got to let them know they're in a fight. Then you got to start looking in the mirror at yourself. You got to make some changes going into next season because for Vrabel, next season is his last season. If he has another season like this, he might last the season, but he won't be back for the fourth. Now I will put it out there. I'll put it out there because one, like I said, part of the problem with Mariota, you know, Marcus deserves his problem, but you never let your quarterback take that many sacks, man. That's just coaching malpractice. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. You never do that. That's Don Capers' sickness, man.
Yeah, but you know, so some of that, and I understand what you're saying, but some of it is because of Marcus too.
Well, no, I said Marcus was part of it. I said Marcus was part of it. Yeah. I said, but still, the bottom line is, as a coach, as a head coach, you see your quarterback taking that many sacks, you pull him.
He should have pulled him a long time ago. He should have qualified Arthur Smith after week 3.
No, I mean, but, because you just don't let your quarterback take that many hits.
Yeah.
And you already know he's shaking as he is, and then all of a sudden, boom, you got him taking all these sacks. So, with the team in a state of flux right now, because you think about it with the contracts you got coming up. You got Logan Ryan, you got Wesley Williams, you got Jack Cotler, you got Derrick Henry's up. You already signed Vaccaro. You got him stabilized. You got Casey stabilized. Your defense is fairly well stabilized. But the bottom line is, your offense, you about to lose some weapons. Yeah. You're about to lose Derrick Henry, because if I'm Derrick Henry's agent, I'm asking the question: do you really want to stay here? Yeah, you're the feature back. You're the man right now. But do you want to stay here with this head coach, this coaching staff? Because the bottom line is, what they're calling is not going to win you a championship.
Right. Anyway, so guys, again, thank you for joining us. The comments, the questions, the love. If you like the show, share it, get it out there.
Please do.
Also, check out our YouTube channel, H/T Adjustments. You'll see these same videos and some updates.
But we'll be back next week.
We'll be back next Sunday. We'll discuss the Chiefs, Week 10, and look across the AFC South and
going into the bye.
Any other news that might be telling for the NFL season 2019.
Let's right now we're just talking about the Titans. We're
2019.
We're losing fans left and right, man.
AFC South.
We're losing fans left and right. We're dead last in the AFC South.
4-5.
4-5. Dead last.
Good to great.
And we're going good to great, all right.
Again, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next Sunday at 7 p.m. after the KC game. Hopefully a victory. We'll see.
Peace.
Peace.